Hello, good evening, and welcome to BK Money Matters platform, a platform that helps you understand the value of money. We want to thank you so much for your feedback regarding what financial literacy information you're receiving. And I'd like tonight to answer and respond to one of the questions you've raised about debt. There's a lot of feedback about debts, and I'd like to share with you on how to make good use of debt. That's what I'd like to share at this moment. There are a few areas you need to understand before, and what type of attitudes you also need to develop in order for you to manage debt and make good use of debt. Number one, that you have to have a required attitude which should help you that debt is useful tool to attain financial success. So debt is not a punishment. Debt is not anything bad, but you need to embrace an attitude that debt is a useful tool to attain financial success. And if anything, you will never grow if you can never access debt and use it well. So even if you deny, but at the end of the day, if you want to grow big, if you want to excel, if you want to be great, in one way or the other, you will always find yourself that you have to access debt. And therefore, debt is a useful tool to attain financial success. Number two, how you use debt matters. So you need to avoid consumption debt as much as possible, so that it is not that you cannot take consumption debt, but you need to take more of production debt than consumption debt. So if anything, you can be able to avoid consumption debt, please, you have to do that. Number three, you need to use debt to leverage, not to do a full dependency on it. It is very, very important that when you are borrowing, that you're borrowing in order to leverage, to use that money to add on what maybe you have, or to be able to do an investment that can be able to yield more, but not to depend on debt to start a business, not to depend on debt to sustain a business. So it's always very important that you use debt as a leverage tool. Number four, borrow if you must to acquire assets that can appreciate in value. So that every time you think you need to always really attach debt to assets, or to attach debt to borrowing in order to have something that appreciates in value. And number four, do not borrow money for luxury. That one is as clear as you have heard it. Do not borrow money for luxury, because every money borrowed for luxury is always hard to pay, and it's very, very painful. And the reason is that usually the value you attach to a luxury is when you get that luxury, you find that value just goes away. And therefore, when the value goes away and you have to pay, and it's depreciating in value, then you'll find it very painful. So our last advice is that do not borrow money for luxury. And I want to thank you very much, and I want to assure you that please keep on, not to fear debts, so that you can use them as a tool to success. Thank you very much.